Hi, I'm Kristen Denny-Chambers, clarinetist, composer, and founder of Clarinet Playground. This is video number 27 out of 40, going through all of the etudes in Finger Fitness Études Book 2 with some little ideas and tricks to help you get started with the music. This one is for Summer Dreams. Be sure to stick around to the very end of the video and I'll share a recording of Trevor Stewart playing the entire etude. Summer Dreams is dedicated to Michele Zukovsky. When clarinetist Michele Zukovsky auditioned for the Los Angeles Philharmonic in 1961, she hadn't a clue that this decision would set her on a rewarding and unconventional course for her entire career. At a mere 18 years old, she became the orchestra's principal clarinetist, prompting her to leave her studies at the University of Southern California 10 weeks into her first year. She went on to become the orchestra's longest-serving female woodwind player and retired in December of 2015. Since retiring, she has invested her energy in teaching both privately and at institutions, namely Azusa Pacific University, Citrus College, and Pasadena Conservatory of Music, all the while maintaining a busy schedule with guest masterclasses. The recent pandemic shifted her pedagogical outlets into the virtual realm, yet this has only offered the ever-versatile musician a chance for further expansion. She currently shares her wealth of experience with a diverse array of students from all across the globe. As I'm sure you can imagine, with 54 years of experience playing principal clarinet in an orchestra and all the opportunities that provided, Michele's biography is quite extensive. I will share her full biography in the notes below the video. You can call it dumb luck or synchronicity or something. However you look at it, I am very fortunate, lucky, and thankful that I was introduced to Michele Zukovsky through Andrew Simon, and Michele ended up being my primary editor in the first book of this series, Finger Fitness Études Book 1. She was such a treat to work with. She was very positive, gave wonderful feedback and suggestions, and really helped to bring the book together. I wrote Summer Dreams for Michele right after I watched the video of her speaking about retiring after 54 years of playing with the Los Angeles Philharmonic. With such a life rich and full of music, she's now eager to explore what else is out there in the world. And this just made me think of this dreamlike state where there are just so many possibilities and who knows where life will take her next. At the end of the video, she says, "Music will always continue with me because life is music." Let's take a look at the music now. At the bottom of each page in this book, you'll find one or two practice tips. For this one, it says, use the tenutos as a guide to help plan the rubato pacing, but feel free to change them for your own interpretation. This etude is very movable and fluid. The music is flexible, so use those as a guide like the tip says, but you can also insert your own ideas, and hopefully every time you play it, it sounds a little bit different. At the top of the page, you'll find 2 finger drills. These are folded directly into the music, so spend some time here. Make sure you're really comfortable. You can mess around with the rhythms and things like that. Both of these require left and right hand coordination, and you can use this concept of lead fingers that I've talked about in previous videos. So for the first one, we have B flat to E, and we have to lift 1 finger of the right hand and 2 fingers of the left hand. And we can really easily get some blips or little scale notes in between if we lift 1 finger at a time this way. So if you think about leading with the middle finger, because that's the highest finger that we'll be lifting, think about that one being the leader, you're less likely to have that problem. So think about letting that one lift first. And as you place your fingers down, lead with the first finger of your right hand so that it lands first and we don't end up with this little scale number as you go down. B flat to F provides a very similar challenge. Now we're just lifting more fingers. So you're going to be leading with your first finger of your top hand as you lift, and then lead still with the right first finger as you place the fingers back down. Another thing that you can do is you can add low G before both of these drills because you're going to see that in the music. So it kind of turns this into a 3-note drill if you think about it that way. So then we go G, B flat, E natural, and G, B flat, F. Try them both ways and you'll get a nice challenge. The The style and character of this piece is adagio, dreamy with rubato. Rubato is key. Let's make sure we're getting as flexible as we can, and hopefully it sounds different every time you play it. Just think of something really dreamy and murky, or maybe even misty. We're just really in a nice dream-like state for this piece. The flowing with movement section is a variation of the tune with more rhythmic activity and momentum, and you'll notice some tenutos, and we'll talk about those in a little bit, but really they're providing a blueprint or an idea of how you could stretch here and there, but of course you can change those and do something different if you'd like. For rhythm, we're going to see dotted half notes, dotted quarter notes, eighth notes, dotted eighth sixteenths, and constant 16th notes. The counting is fairly simple. I think what makes this tricky is the use of the rubato and how that's going to challenge your rhythmic pacing. Now we'll go over some areas for focus. The fundamental intervals combined with low G turns these simple 2-note drills into 3-note drills. We've kind of talked about that already, and you can incorporate that in your drill-only practice. But if you look at the very beginning, we have the G, B flat, F, G, B flat, E, and that keeps coming back. And if you look at measure 15, when we have the variation, we have even more of that involvement of the low G. So that just adds an extra challenge to the piece. The two primary dotted half notes that you'll see in the tune are in measure 7 and measure 11. So one is decaying and one is leading. So make sure you show a difference in those. Now let's talk about the overall rubato in the main theme. Really, you have an opportunity to be flexible and try something different each time. Every time I play it, it sounds a little bit different. But I go for this basic formula of starting kind of slow, and as the rhythm gets more active, I kind of increase the intensity of the speed to where the activity is. And then as things slow down as far as rhythms are concerned, you can also relax your pacing. Then we get the rubato with the tenutos challenge. So now you can be flexible but also move, and how do you stretch and what do you decide to do? So this is where you can experiment and sort of add a little extra love on some different notes that you really want to bring out and just have some fun with it. We also have some large leaps, and we need to set up some breaths around those large leaps. So if we look at measure 25, for example, we have a leap within the phrase with no breath from the D down to the other D. And then at the beginning of measure 26, we have E down to low A with a breath. So to set up that breath, you need to stretch a little bit leading into it, play the E long, take your breath, play the low A long, and then kind of pick back up where you were. As far as the leap in measure 25, you can stretch a little bit, but keep the momentum leading to the downbeat of measure 26. The dynamics in tenutos combined with rubato provide a blueprint to create an interpretation that ebbs and flows naturally. Let it do what it's going to do, let it be different each time, and really practice being flexible with that. Summer Dreams is fluid and flexible, like a creek flowing through a beautiful summer scene. It can ebb and flow, it can push forward, it can hang back. Once you get a solid sense of the notes and the rhythms, try pacing the rubato differently each time while imagining the childlike wonder of endless possibilities and dreams of summertime. I think about Michele and the video I watched of her speaking about retiring from the Los Angeles Philharmonic after 54 years, facing the big life question of what's next. No matter what, I'll always remember her final words in that video: music will always continue with me because life is music. I will include a link to that video below. Stick around to hear Trevor Stewart playing the entire etude. To listen to a beautiful recording of this etude and all other etudes from this book, head over to my website, clarinetplayground.com. Trevor Stewart has recorded all 40 etudes beautifully, and they are available for purchase there on my website. Since this etude is one of the samples from the book, Trevor has graciously allowed me to share his recording here. So sit back, relax, and enjoy Trevor playing Summer Dreams. Feel free to join us in the Clarinet Playground group on Facebook where we play and post for each other. And head over to my website at clarinetplayground.com for more fun music and books. Thank you so much. So if we look at measure 25, we have this lovely leap from D. Oh, I gotta do this again because the sirens. Man, there's something going on today.